new starting quarterback in Chicago, so let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. Here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan and you are not following the channel by subscribing to it and turning on the post notifications, I'm telling you, you're missing out a lot. If this is your first time checking the channel out, welcome. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. The latest and greatest Bears content you can find around is right here. And make sure, you guys, if you have not followed me already on my social media, that you do so. My Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Reach out to me, ask questions, do what it is you got to do. As you can tell by the title, we've got a lot to talk about because we have a new starting quarterback in Nick Foles. Nick Foles, yes, has been announced as the new starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears for their next matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. So here to talk about this news, my reaction, my thoughts, and pretty much everything else in between. All right, so a lot to get to. Let's get into it. So first things first, this should come as no surprise to anybody, okay, that Nick Foles has been announced as the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears moving forward. I literally told you guys this in my post-game recap after the Bears' victory over the Atlanta Falcons, that there was no doubt about it. This was not a question. This was not an argument. This was not a debate. Nick Foles was going to be the starting quarterback moving forward, especially after what happened in that game versus the Falcons, in which, of course, the Bears came back and won that game. Had the Bears lost that game, maybe something else would have happened. Who knows? But point is, after that game, I literally told you guys this, that Nick Foles was going to be the starting quarterback. Now, again, it's not, the biggest, surprise in the world that it happened, but I didn't stutter. I said it was going to happen. Now, let's talk about this. Okay, Matt Nagy announces this decision today in his press conference, saying that Nick Foles is the starting quarterback moving forward. So, again, nobody should be surprised, but does this mean that Nick Foles is going to be our starting quarterback for the rest of the season? Well, Matt Nagy, when asked that question, was non-committal. And I don't blame him, because Matt Nagy, honestly, I don't think knows really in his head, because he's just trying to take it week by week, okay? He's just worried about the Colts this week, and that's it. And as he should be. You can only play one game at a time and only worry about one game at a time. We don't have a Patrick Mahomes. We don't have a Russell Wilson. We don't have a quarterback where it's a set it and forget it. It's not even a question. He's your franchise quarterback. So in that aspect of things, Matt Nagy was non-committal in saying, we don't know what the future holds in terms of who's going to be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. But rest assured, I'm here to tell you, Nick Foles is going to be the Bears starting quarterback for the rest of the season unless he gets hurt and or somehow, some way, he plays so poorly that they may have to reverse back. But again, that's highly unlikely. Okay? And let's talk about that situation. So we already know Nick Foles is going to be the starting quarterback moving forward. And on that aspect of it, I believe it was the right move because, again, I've said this before with Mitchell Trubisky, he had no room for error. Any play, any interception, any pass was something that could be used and result in him getting benched. And that's exactly what happened. It was an interception that led to his benching. So Mitchell Trubisky had no room for error. He made an error. That's what happens, all right? So it was the right move, and you cannot bench a guy after he leads you to a comeback victory, right? So there was no doubt in my mind that this was the right move. So I agree with Matt Nagy, absolutely. Now, in terms of moving forward, here's where I'm at. The Bears are now going to have their schedule significantly get harder. All right? We've got the Colts coming up next week. This week, I should say. The Colts are a, pretty good defense, pretty solid team. And honestly, probably the best team we've played thus far. Yeah, they're obviously better than the Falcons. So they are the best team we've played so far. Then after that, we play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are better than the Colts. So we play another team that's even better than we've played so far. Then we play the Panthers, who aren't great. So, again, that's a lesser matchup. But then you've got a team like the Rams. Then you've got the Saints. So, 4 of the next 5 games are against potential playoff teams / contenders, right? Bucks, Colts, Rams, Saints, these are very good teams. So Nick Foles is going to have his hands full with these matchups because they are going to be some very, very solid and tough teams and tough defenses he's going to have to face. So I have no issues with Nick Foles being announced as starting quarterback. I 1,000% agree with it. I already told you in my recap last night. I am all in on Matt Nagy. I'm trusting him 100%. And so this was the right decision. My only question here is this. What happens if Nick Foles does not play well through this next 5-game stretch? What happens? Because at that point, do you just ride it out? And if they do, so be it. Again, I'm trusting Matt Nagy, but at that point, do you just ride it out with Nick Foles and now you can't go back to Mitchell Trubisky, which in a way, people have made that argument, and I totally see it. Once you bench Mitch, you don't go back to him. His confidence is shot. It's pretty much over. So what happens now with Nick Foles if he does struggle? Because again, I'm telling you, as much as I want Nick Foles to succeed, this is a guy, again, who's had the highest of highs, Super Bowl MVP, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in the season. He's thrown 7 touchdowns in a game, all the way down to getting benched for Gardner Minshew, right? So we've had Nick Foles, who's been basically a career journeyman backup outside of that one Super Bowl run with the Eagles that he had. But for the most part, Nick Foles has shown you that, you know, he can struggle as well. So that's my only question here. And my answer to that, I'll be honest, is I still think the Bears will stick with Nick Foles. I still think they will. The only way I believe Mitchell Trubisky sees the field is if Nick Foles gets hurt. That's honestly it. That's my honest answer, folks. You know, for people hoping that I would say something otherwise, look, I try not to be biased. I have to be very objective in my analysis, and that is where my analysis is leading me to say that even though I believe that there is a chance that Nick Foles can absolutely struggle against these top-tier level defenses, I believe the Bears will stick with him over Mitchell Trubisky moving forward. Okay? The only way Mitch sees the field again is if he meaning Nick Foles, gets hurt. So there you have it, folks. Nick Foles is a starting quarterback moving forward. No surprise here. Now the schedule is going to get tough. We're 3-0. I'm very happy. And listen, I'm going to make another video about kind of, you know, the Mitchell Trubisky era, if you will, and my overall thoughts on it. So look forward to that. But here's what I'll leave you guys with, okay? At the end of the day, folks, we are all Chicago Bears fans, or at least I hope we are. A lot of you guys are closet haters. But at the end of the day, we should want what's best for the team. And Nick Foles, at this point, is what is best for the team. All right? At this point, against the Colts this week, he is what's best for the team. And I'm going to be rooting for Nick Foles. All right? That's what I'm going to be doing. That's what you guys should be doing. We are rooting for the Chicago Bears because we are Chicago Bears fans. And also the NFL. At the end of the day, folks, it's a business and it's got a very short menu. Wins and losses. That's all people care about, and that's all that matters. So just win, and just win. And also play well as well. But that is what matters. So there you have it, folks. Nick Foles gets announced as a starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Gave you my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below. I believe it was the right decision. You can't go back to Mitchell Trubisky after that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.